Yo, Banter fam. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hope you guys are all having a great, what is today? Wednesday, right? Thursday. Thursday. It's Thursday today. Wow, times are flying. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day so far. Guys, as you can see on my charts over here, I do have the money season line, and it's actually quite crazy how accurate this line has been. That every time we are getting small pullbacks in the market or something's happening, we keep bouncing off of this money line. And it's just showing us how important this USDT dominance chart actually is. And I'm going to show you guys the very important part of the signals that we're seeing now, because we had the money chart line. We know the break of this line is going to bring a massive amount of money into the market. And then I look, okay, we had a small bounce here. We closed above. And then I look at this chart over here, this one over here, and I could see that, okay, Bitcoin touched nearly the same highs that it went. So clearly our little bear wall that we've been talking about is a very accurate one at this point. So guys, I'm going to be going through what we're looking at, where Bitcoin is. What was that little move we had the last few days? Did we get rejected in a bad zone? Is something bad in the market? What's happening with the alts? What's happening with dominance? And then after that, I'm then going to be going through an ideal, beautiful portfolio structure that I've been working on. And it's something that I'm going to be increasing the knowledge on over the next few days and the next few weeks. But I'm going to give you guys the basic standard form to start with. I kind of feel that we're in a market right now where we're very focused on the charts, but we're ignoring our portfolios a lot. And what I've managed to do is sort of build a basic little portfolio structure system for you, so I can actually make this a lot simpler. Then, when do you take profits? When do you buy in the market? When do you do these things? It's actually the portfolio management that tells you these things, not actually the charts. And it's a nice little simple strategy for you guys. All of this is coming up, and I'm going to be teaching you guys that little view at the end of the show. So I think no more wasting time. Let's get into it. What's up to our amazing community out there? I missed you guys. It's been a whole total 23 hours. And welcome to all the guys that are new to the channel and watching. If you are new, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Join us. We have been here throughout the last 2-3 cycles, through the tops, through the good, through the bad. And I know it gets sort of tough, and we sort of understand that, this market is a flushing system. It's going to flush out the guys that came in for the quick money at points. And, the guys that always remained, who made the most money in the last year was all the guys from 2017, 2018. So the guys that stuck through those times over there were the guys that made money on the next bull cycle. And that's all that we could see. That few months ago, we had a bull cycle. And then what happened was we then had a flushing out system. And the guys that remained throughout the flushing out system and learned to improve and grow their things, the next bull cycle are the ones that really, really turn. Because we cannot deny that crypto's made more millionaires and billionaires than a lot of industries in the world. So you're at the right place. Make sure you join all of our social medias. Make sure you're part of everything. Make sure you're part of Coin Panel if you do want to be more active in and out of trades, as that is a way I can communicate with you guys outside of the show and all of that. So join the family. I promise you it's going to be worth it. No more wasting time. Let's jump into the charts. Let's go have a look what is happening right now in the market and what can we be expecting next in the market. So Bitcoin did hit a bear wall. Guys, we had a really good volume spike. So this was good. We then hit that zone. And then what I did see yesterday, obviously, was we wanted to break that, what did I say yesterday? 45,500 zone. We literally hit, what did we hit yesterday? We hit 45,400. So we went there and we hit it and we got a rejection point. But the exciting part about this is at least we tested the wall. Now we know that that is a legitimate wall that's sitting between 45,500 and 46,000. Now what's exciting about hitting the wall is the more times you hit that wall, eventually we can break through. So what do we have? We got a main resistance that we know is the key level breakout. Now, if that breaks, we then know that this is going to break. And if this breaks, where is it? There we go. If this breaks, it's then going to confirm with us that a lot of money is going to come back into the markets. So recently, what happened the last few weeks is we just had a reset of the whole cycle again. We had Bitcoin run through solo. Then we know it's time for the alts. A lot of the altcoins started breaking trend yesterday, and they're all still currently holding trend at this point. They are still waiting for Bitcoin, though, to break through the 46K zone. It breaks through that. It brings more money into the market. It brings confidence back in the market to say, okay, finally, Bitcoin is looking at a better place. Now we can start diversifying back into the alts. And remember, with this whole USDT money line chart that I'm talking about, is very similar to this previous line that we had here. When we finally broke it, Bitcoin was 38,000. It then went to 69,000 in 3 months. But when it broke it, it was a Bitcoin breakout. After the Bitcoin breakout, only, I think it was 2 weeks or a week or so after that, that the altcoins then joined the race. And then we had a whole total market cap eruption to the upward side. So at least we sort of know where we're looking at now, that this is an important line. Bitcoin breaks 46. We then have the breakthrough of the money season line, which will bring a lot more USDT back in the market. So what I'm looking at now with Bitcoin is we are getting a short-term retracement. Now, if we look at the 8-hour RSI, still high. So we know now that we rallied up, we hit a very important zone, and now we are having short-term pullbacks in the market, and it sort of makes sense. Now, if we do have a short-term pullback in the market, where do we want to hold and what's major support right now? For me, I have this major first trend, which is showing that Bitcoin can come back down and test 40,000 to 42,000, and that's still a healthy retracement. That's what I want to see when my 8-hour RSI is being reset to the bottom, my 4 hours being reset, and my 12 hours being reset as well to the bottom as well. And that will show that we have had a big now buying market where the market went overbought for a while. We started to cover really good ground by making a higher high, which is a great point. And now what we want to see is we want to see the flush out where we get an oversold market again. But we want to see, as long as our bigger walls from the upside are bigger than the downside walls, will indicate with us, are we still in a strong market or still in a weak market? So I want to actually see that if we are, now we are not guaranteed that Bitcoin is going to come to this level just yet. It is a big place that we are looking at, and it's something that we're going to prepare for that. But at any point, we can smash through. And the way we do know and how we can smash through is by tracking it, is to understand that this is where we're currently pulling back in the market, and I want to detect that. I can track that down, and remember, I have a support too. So sort of place an image now on what we're looking at. We're looking now that Bitcoin hits a zone, which was a good wall that it hit. It wasn't a bad wall at all. And now what we're doing is we're tracking it down. And if it continues to flow down, what are the zones that we want to be holding? And that's the support trend line. So it's telling us between 40 and 42,000. I then want to see my RSIs get reset. And if we bounce in that area with all three of my RSIs reset, it is showing that even though we had a short-term pullback in the market, the bulls are still in control of the market because we are clearly still making higher highs and higher lows within. So the bulls are stronger than the bears at this sort of point. And what I like about it is you sort of look at the different views where you had the one big rejection candle, which makes sense, but I don't see a massive tapering increase of volume at this point. So I have an increase in volume when we're going to the upward side, but I got a decrease in volume to the downward side. So it's still giving very key indication that the volume is sitting behind the bulls at this point. So I am tracking it down, and the only thing that will cancel my order of us making it to the 45,500 to the 42 zone will be us breaking this trend over here. And if we start to break this trend within today or tomorrow, it's showing the true strength of how we're going to attempt that wall again. And remember, this big wall for me breaks the money season line, and it shows me a big move of Bitcoin making its way to the 50K zone into that main area that we're looking at. So looking at that, looking at our alts, a lot of the alts are in that interested buying area zone that I was talking about. They're all sitting above resistance at this point, and they're all hovering here, sort of waiting for Bitcoin's next sort of move. So that's looking strong. Obviously, looking at all of these here, they're all sitting great. So I've been laddering in on my altcoins at this sort of zone, and I'm being patient for the remainder of my oversold positions between the 4-hour, 8-hour, and 12-hour. And I'm looking to dollar cost in all these zones, as I know that the altcoins are the ones that are still very, very cheap. Bitcoin's cheap, but it's not as cheap as what it was 2 weeks ago. And now the alts are looking there. So I know my focus is mainly at those zones. And remember, the key ones that I'm really looking at this week to be interested in is Ethereum, is Render, is Axie Infinity, is Curve. Lux is gone for now. It just shows you guys the power of buying a break of trend move. You would already be close to 15% into profit. If looks does come back down to 1.3 or somewhere in that zone, I'm interested. Solana as well. You see the break of these trends, how important it is. Solana for me, for investment wise, I'm interested. I'm just waiting. My 4 hours hit the bottom, waiting for my 8 hours to hit the bottom. And I wait for my 12 hour to hit the bottom, and I'm laddering in cautiously on those zones. And I do have that trend line sitting with Bitcoin that if anything breaks there, I want to see what's in zone now, and I want to be stocking up and loading up at those times. We then had the nice Fantom little pullback. This is one that wasn't in buy zone yesterday, but it's coming to new buy zone now, and it's looking at the region of 1.74 to the 1.83 zone is where I want to be loading up some more of my Fantom. We had Near Protocol that broke out well. We had Rune that broke out well. And we had some good trades within this week. And now I'm sort of looking at the next ones, and I'm still printing the image of what we need to still see in the market. Now, guys, with that said, we are being a little bit more patient with that now, right? We understand a break of Bitcoin of 46, a rally to 50K, money line is dropped. Altcoins are the cheap ones. That's where I want to capitalize. Or Bitcoin comes and tests 40 to 42,000 zone. We wait for the 8 hour, the 12 hour to reset. And we know that the altcoins are the money season one. And that's where I'm loading up. And that's where I'm sort of zoning. So at least we got a nice little image of what we're looking at. Now, what I want to do is I want to jump into some education. Now, this is super important because people always ask me, when do I take profits? When do things, when do I restructure my portfolio? When do I, change things in that sort of move? And we're always looking at the chart to know when to take profits. I don't think the problem's within the charts. I don't think it's with fundamentals. I don't care. I don't think it's with news. None of that should be telling you when to be taking profit. Your portfolio should be telling you when to take profit. And what I learned with that is my portfolio is my baby, and it needs to be split into the right way. Now, what I'm looking at with that is I always want to be looking at some sort of cash portfolio, a trading portfolio, and a long-term portfolio. Now, we have these three major portfolios, and each one has its own job. Now, the way I look at it with this is I have a cash portfolio, and I need to always have a cash portfolio. People always think that they don't need cash, or, in a bull market, you should have no cash at all. I think that's complete rubbish. I think you always need to have cash because cash is going to remind you when you need to take profits. If you never have a cash portfolio, you're never going to take profits. You're never going to be prepared for any massive crashes. And as well, you also have the thing as expenses or money that I need, money that I can't afford to lose. Cash is a super, super important portfolio that you need to always be having. Now, looking at that, then I have a trading portfolio. Now, a trading portfolio is quite simple. I like to call it, a soldier. A soldier out of war. He's got to go out there, do me a job, and come back to base. Come and look safe. That's how you start to look at a trading portfolio. Trading portfolio does not care about your tokens. It does have no emotional attachment to what you're buying. It has no care. It is there to make you money and is there to get you out, so that you can then use that money and diversify it into your other portfolios. So it's a portfolio that has a job to do. This does come with stop losses. It does come with TP profit, the points that you need to, when you're entering that trade, you know where you are taking profits. You need to stop being realistic about setting 100% profits. You need to start setting it to say that when this thing is in 10% profit, I'm taking 20% out. When it gets to 15% profit, I'm taking this out. So it comes with a structured strategy behind it. And then this portfolio, like I said, is a soldier. It is there to grow your cash portfolio, and it's there to grow your long-term portfolio. Now, what is your long-term portfolio? Your long-term portfolio is something that you add, but you never take from. It is something that's going to make you money over the next 5 years. It's something that is actually super valuable in this market, because who made the most money is the guys that held their tokens from 2017. They're the guys that made a lot of their wealth by holding out through all of the moves in the market. Now, what this does, it creates massive amount of wealth for you over time, because it's going to ignore the noise. It's basically going to ignore the points. Let's take this chart off here. It's going to ignore the flushing out systems. It's going to ignore those things. It's not going to get you emotionally attached. How many of you were tempted to sell all of your tokens when the war broke out? How many of these things sort of happened? It's playing with your damn mind, and you're playing with too much emotion in the market. So what I'm looking at is I've set out a little basic view. Let's put it back up there. There we go. A little basic view that there are different people out there. There are guys with $1,000 portfolio. There's guys with $10,000 portfolio, and there's guys with $100,000 portfolio. And the ultimate goal is, Which one are you? And these all come with different strategies. Now, reason why I'm saying that is right now, $1,000 portfolio, just investing all of it is going to make you money over 5-10 years. If you're willing to wait 5 to 10 years, it's worth it for doing that. But if you want to build a killer portfolio, you have to change your structure. Now, with the $1,000 portfolio, I actually have a 50% trading portfolio that I use there. So 50% of my money there is for active trading. It's to getting in and out, getting the money and leaving. Very simple. My long-term portfolio is smaller. We can see very much that my long-term portfolio is only 25% and my cash is sitting at 25%. Then we look at a $10,000 portfolio where my trading portfolio is 40%, my cash is 35, and my cash is 25. I see there's two cash ones, and my long-term is 35% too. Now, reason why we have the different ones here is because if you have a bigger amount of cash in the markets, you shouldn't be getting, let's just add this, get rid of that. There we go. You shouldn't be getting in and out of the market a lot. If you have a $100,000 portfolio, you should be having at least 50 to 60% of your money long-term, because it's going to ignore the news. You're going to make tons of money over the next 2-3 years by ignoring the whole cycle. But if you only got a $5,000 portfolio or something small, you got to get it to the levels where you can become that. So by understanding that this little pie chart over here, think about it now. I have 20% cash now, right? And now all of a sudden, all these coins are showing buy zones for the altcoins right now. So I deploy that 20% cash. And now I only got 5% cash left. So what does that mean? It means now my trading portfolio is sitting at 45%. My cash is only sitting at 5%. And my long-term is still sitting, let's say, at 50%, right? But every month, the way I use this, you can either do it weekly if you are more active and you are more on the charts, or you can do it monthly, is I do a monthly check. I go through my portfolio. Now, this is how I want my portfolio to look at every single end of the month. Now, if I go in there and I'm only in 5% cash, but my trading portfolio is sitting at 45%, what is it telling me? It's telling me that my trading portfolio is too big. So I need to start taking profits on my trading portfolio and I need to fill up my cash section. Or my long-term is sitting at 55%. My trading profit's only sitting at 25% and my cash. Do you see what it does for you? It actually gives you a guideline. It actually gives you a point where I have these different wallets. I have these different things. They're all set to do something different, but this needs balancing every week. And if my cash portfolio is all of a sudden lower than what it's supposed to be, it's telling me to take profits. Or if my cash portfolio is higher than what it's supposed to be, it's telling me to look for buys. And it's telling me to start looking to add positions into the market. And what it starts doing is it starts giving you a clear view of what you're supposed to be doing now. A lot of people have been stuck. They've been stuck for the last 2-3 months. And they have no idea what to do. My pie chart shows me very clear what to do. Where is my portfolio sitting? The only difficult part is you need to identify which section you are in. It's very clear that the $100,000 portfolio has a way bigger long-term view. You don't need to be playing with your tokens. You need to be buying good fundamental tokens and you need to be leaving them. Very simple. But then you do have a little trading portfolio. And what's that there to do? That's there to get in and out of the market so you can keep filling that long-term portfolio, because you know that at the end of the day is your true wealth. That's where the true money is actually sitting at. And all that you have is the divide between your 20% cash and your trading portfolio, and that's reminding you to take profits and when to be loading up, and it's giving you a nice basic view. And ultimately, you want your portfolio to be looking, this is my sort of basic view of my sniper ideal standard portfolio. So if you only got a $1,000 portfolio, you're going to be working this year, you're going to be a bit more active on your portfolio, but then you get to a $10,000 portfolio, something has to change. You can't go use a $1,000 strategy when you're at a $10,000 account now. And when you're $10,000, $100,000, it then has to change. And ultimately, over the next journey, you want to be getting your portfolio to look and be strategized like this. And then at some point, if you get to $1 million accounts, you start building those, eventually your long-term sitting 80% out of the rest. And all that it's doing is to show that if you have a smaller account, end of the day, you have to be more active. The only difference is you keep holding on or you keep trading for unrealistic thoughts and unrealistic sort of views. You need to be setting shorter TPs. You need to be setting these things because the market is still giving you the range every single day. So you got to be more active, especially if you want to build that sort of ideal portfolio. And then it's showing at a $10,000 range that you're still active, but you're actually looking at the full balancing and understanding that this is how I'm going to get it from 10,000 into the $100,000 region. And you see now, if you can just categorize on which one you are in, it starts to give you a view that if I got $1,000 portfolio, every 2 weeks I'm balancing. If I got a $10,000 portfolio, every month I'm balancing. If I got a $100,000 portfolio, only every 3 months that I'm balancing. Now you take that into the charts and you start to view that if I'm going to be shorter term and I'm going to be looking at, I got a $1,000 portfolio. Guys, you're running on 4-hour, 8-hour, and 12-hour RSIs. Very simple. You are entering your trades when these things, all three, are oversold. Very simple. Just those three. You don't even need any other drawings. You need nothing. Whenever your RSIs are down here, you're looking at the right coins and where they're at, and you want to be loading up at that zone. And when your 8-hour, your 4-hour, 8-hour, and 12-hour hitting the top, you're taking your profits, you're getting out, you're then splitting your long term, you're splitting into your cash, and you're starting again. Don't compound all of your accounts, rebalance your accounts every week, 2 weeks, every month. Now you go onto the $10,000 account. Now you jump to daily. Very simple. When my daily is at the top, I'm starting to rebalance my accounts. I'm starting to see how much cash am I in. I'm starting to reach sort of points. So I don't need to be in and out too often. I want to be in and out once or twice a month. Very simple. I want to be buying when the dailies are at the bottom, and I want to be offloading when the dailies are at the top. Splitting, I got a long term that sits through all of it. The long term, you're going to ride through this. But the problem is, if you're riding through all of this with 100% of your money, you're going to keep making the same simple mistakes that you keep repeating the cycle. So split it. Have some of it that runs through all of it, and have some of it that is there to get a job. It's there that has take profits. It has in that. Now, why does that do that for you? Because if Bitcoin falls to 10,000 tomorrow, if you got a trading portfolio, it's got stop losses, and you got a cash portfolio, you got 55% of your money to buy the dip. Do you see what that does for your thing? And if this market, if Bitcoin goes to 70,000 tomorrow, this trading portfolio tells you that you have to have TPs, you have to have cash. And what that means is it's going to teach you to ladder out on the way out, because you have to continuously keep your account at a specific amount of cash. And the bigger your account gets, the more cash you got to start loading. And you can see how by the 10,000 view, you're looking at the region of 35% cash. So it just teaches you now that the more your account starts to grow, the more cash you got to be offloading in. So this strategy helps you now throughout a bear cycle, and it helps you with that within a bull cycle, but it gives you the basic view. So now you understand the basic daily thing on when I should be focused, that if I have a $10,000 account, this is the main RSI I need to focus on. You got to watch the show every day, and we got to see where's the great entries. The ones that I was speaking about yesterday, with the 8-hour, 12-hour, and these, we're waiting for those to reset. So the shorter term views, we are in strong. They're soldiers moving now to get the job done and to be getting out. But then what it is if you got a $100,000 view, stop listening to all the noise. It's very simple. These RSIs have been reset for a while now. As a $100,000 portfolio thing here, you should be super interested. You should be loading up, and you should be prepping now to balance your portfolio at the end of the month. Because what did we had? We had Lunar double overnight. We literally had Lunar double. We had Render start to explode. We had Thor chain that started to move super, super, super strong. So you should have been deploying, because the weekly stochastic is your baby. It's the guys sitting with the bigger amounts, the guys that are sitting with the larger accounts, or the guys that are higher time frame views. And that's been very much clearly telling you that this is your time to be stocking up, to loading up, and get ready to go. And when this gets through to the top, very similar. Let's use it as 2 examples on when Fantom was at the top. This whole range in the zone over here, Fantom was sitting at the top and overbought in those sort of regions. Now, if we look at that, even with Bitcoin, it was telling you at that point the regions of when we needed to be TPing and take sort of profits. And you would see it doesn't matter when this thing was sitting at the top. Even here, it was sitting at the top. Look how we're still much lower than where we were at the zone. And look how powerful the strategy is, that if you're looking at the larger side of your portfolio and just running off the weekly alone, that was your TP signals. Fill up your cash, make sure your trading portfolio has stop losses. And when this turned, this whole thing, let's just draw it over here. When this whole thing turned, you would have been 55% in cash. 45-50% is still riding out the rest. You would have been, actually, it's 50%. You would have been 50% in cash, because a part of your money is on stop losses and 20% sitting in cash. Very simple. And if this rallies up now, it's teaching you to continuously take cash, and it's teaching you to continuously balance your portfolio. So does a chart really have to determine everything? Guys, the charting was never something that just gave me the true skill. It was actually the portfolio management and the splitting system, because that tells me every single month that my cash is too big, or my trading portfolio is too big, or my long-term is too big. And then what it does is it reminds me on where I need to balance and where I need to take from. And if I run in this basic strategy that, if I'm running shorter time, what I mean by shorter time, you've got a smaller account, you need to be more active. 4-hour, 8-hour, 12-hour. Very simple. Load up on those RSIs. When it gets to the top, you take profits. You don't care if it goes more. You don't care if you bought Fantom at $2 and it goes to $4, but you took profits at 2.6. You don't give a crap. I took my profits in that time. I flushed it out and I'm ready for the next one. I go, fine. I don't fall in love with the token. I don't care which token it is. It doesn't matter. My traded portfolio has no emotions at all. It's only my long term. My long term is the one where I got my 10 favorite babies. Those are the ones that I want to hold on forever. So do that then. Those are going to ride throughout the actual wave. And then you also have your cash portfolio, which helps you with expenses. It helps you with any massive crashes in the market, and it teaches you to take profits. So the true skill is smaller portfolio, more active, 8-hour, 12-hour RSIs, 4-hour RSIs. The guys that have a $10,000 portfolio, daily RSIs. You don't need to risk too much. You want to be accurate. You want to be basic. You want it to be simple. You want to be using the daily. And you've got bigger portfolios, longer term views. You're then running on the weekly. And then you know when to be deploying, when to start flushing out. Think about it. If you got a $100,000 portfolio, you don't need to be doing it once a month. You need to be doing it when you have a full cycle over 3 months. So a guy with a $100,000 account, he's got a bigger long-term account. So I'm only redoing my account every 3 months. That's when we have a full flow of the weekly RSI, and it's a full cycle that's got to play out. And I know when it's the bottom range and when I'm getting in, and I know when I'm focusing on getting out. And it gives me a nice little view. So the bigger portfolios, the guys that are less crazy, they don't need to be too active in the market, are rebalancing the accounts every 2-3 months. The guys that are at 10,000, when I get it to 100,000, you're balancing once a month. The guys that are short time frame, they need to get their money from $1,000 to $10,000. Guys, I did that. I had $400 when I started off. And the only way I did that is every week I had to split it. And if I consistently learned how to make, when to turn my profit, when do I need to fill my cash portfolio? Now, how can you do it off charts without having a risk management system or having a portfolio system? And you don't even care where the price is at. That little pie chart is going to tell you what you need to be doing. You just got to know when. When should I be doing it? And that's where the beauty of the simple RSIs are behind it. So guys, I think it was important today that while we're waiting for this little slow day right now, Bitcoin's sitting at a crazy level. And if this market shifts, if you don't have something ready in play, you're going to ride the whole thing. You're going to make tons of money and you're going to lose it all. It's that simple. But if you're ready for it and this market takes off and it absolutely erupts, you need to have a simple system. Even if this market drops now tomorrow, I have 50% of my money sitting with stop losses and in cash. So let it drop. I'm ready for both of them. I'm ready if it drops tomorrow, or I'm ready if it pumps through the actual moon, because now I finally have a structure. I know what percentage of my portfolio should be risk management and which should have stop losses and these sort of things. And I know which part of my portfolio is going to ride all the craziness out. So I'm prepping for both, and I'm having structure for actual both of them in the market. So I wanted to give you guys that basic view. Quick recap. Bitcoin, 40 to 42,000 is our support zones. My breakout level's 46. We have the money line of the USDT. It shows us that it will be a Bitcoin solo breakout first. We will have an alt rally slowly with it, but the true alt rally comes once Bitcoin's clearly broken through there and we have a strong push of that dominance down. So the market's reset. When it comes to emotion size, you should be getting ready because something should absolutely erupt and explode, because this is the 2 cycles that we have seen recently, and it was the best opportunities for you to get in. But please make sure your portfolio is ready. Please make sure you have some sort of structure, because buying entries and stuff is not the skill and it's not going to make you a lot of money. Identifying where your portfolio is and what to do with your portfolios is going to make you a lot more money, and how active you should be in on those is actually the true skill. So guys, I wanted to give you guys that little bit of education today. I'm going to be continuing this. We're going to be going through a lot more into depth. I'm going to start teaching you guys all my tools. I made money from consistency. I didn't make it from getting it right all the time, but my consistency doubled and doubled and doubled. And when you learn to double and double and double and double, it's crazy how you start moving. The only difference is we keep compounding our trading portfolios. We keep compounding these things. And the problem with that is I will get my trading portfolio from $1,000 to $5,000, and then one crash will wipe all of it. And that's the problem, because I have everything sitting in one area. So when I learned to divide and to split, my consistency is what made me a lot more money. And now I'm in that position where, I'm sitting on the way bigger, where I need 60 or 50% in my long term. I don't need to run through that, but I still have 50% of my portfolio that runs on stop losses, and I'm still in cash, so that either way this happens, I'm able to capitalize. And at least now you've got a full structure behind it. So Banter fam, I love you guys very much. I miss the education. I miss the stuff. Get used to it. Educating Sniper is back, and it's time for us. I want you to fish. I'm not going to fish for you. I'm here for you, and I'm here every single day. But I want you guys to understand that, it may be a bit confusing now and a little bit of things, but I promise you learn it quite quickly, and it's going to change your life. I promise it's going to change your life. Stop blaming others. No one's going to change your life but you. So learn these little secrets, adjust them to your strategy, and kick ass out there. I love you lots, Banter fam. I'll see you all tomorrow.